Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder Path Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino. Let's start to get prepped for the coming trading week. Again, earnings season's kicking off. Lots of economic and Fed speak. Could be a very interesting week. By the way, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. Longer term subscribers, please come back and leave some comments on the videos and do like them. It was much appreciated. So, who do we have? Hey, Amit. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad it's beautiful day outside, Davey. It's not so bad here in the suburb just north of Chicago. It's actually one rare nice spring day we've had so far. So, been super busy today, but we have to get our market prep in. So then I got more stuff to do. It's again very busy weekend for me. Let me see here. There we go. Here, let's take a look at the economic calendar first. We got two Fed speakers tomorrow morning, 8:30. Consumer inflation expectations, which I'm putting it more as a medium importance just because of all the focus on inflation. We have Fed Evans speaking at 11:40. Again, all those times are central, just because I am in the Chicagoland area. Core inflation coming out Tuesday, and inflation rate, so that's 7:30. That will definitely impact the market. So keep an eye on that for Tuesday. Brainerd speaking at 11:10. Wednesday, we have the PPI major number coming out on Wednesday, 7:30. Again, we're going to see, and then of course we have our crude oil stuff. Retail sales going to be critical on Thursday, 7:30, and continuing job claims not so much. It's going to be really focused on retail sales, and then consumer sentiment. So keep that in mind. And then on Good Friday, we have industrial production, Empire State Manufacturing Index. So that will be a little slower on Good Friday, but that's what's coming out. Also, before we get into FOMC, about still 80% chance for a 50 basis point hike. A gamma flip model. This will probably update overnight again, but right now just slightly in negative gamma territory. Also, here's your earnings. Again, we got Albertsons on Tuesday before the market. I will look at that because of spending and their outlook and inflation based off food. Wednesday really starts kicking it off. We got JP Morgan Chase. Delta. No, there's a lot of people who do watch Bed Bath & Beyond. That's still a major takeover play for me. Then we have Thursday before the opens, really important. Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, Citibank, Morgan Stanley, PNC, Ally. So keep an eye. Wednesday and Thursday are the big days for earnings that can definitely have some impact on the market. Hello, Genomic Stock. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here and spending some time with me on a Sunday. Glancing at the S&P, not quite an inside day on Friday, but still a pause. We'll go through what I'm watching for. I'm still watching for another stronger rotation up this week. Still in play based off a lot of stuff I do. Cycles, still going to watch for them to turn up. RSI is back down below the 50% mark, and with cycles at the bottom, we could get a little bump. What would invalidate that is so we start getting momentum below about 44, 46. So that's going to be key. By the way, I did put up the sector overview about 15 minutes before we went live on this. So if you want to check that out after this live stream, please do. It'll go over our longer term and even some short term sector positions. What else do we have? To the upside, we talked about this on Friday, this little sloppy head and shoulders. So I will be keeping an eye, but really I'm watching about 45.20. We start getting above 45.20. I'm targeting 45.26 to 45.29, first area of resistance, and this even for overnight markets. It looks like Europe's going to open stronger also with some of the French election results coming in. Then 45.38, we are in a clear path move here. And we have the first breakdown zone from that clear path is about 45.68. So if we got some momentum and that isn't just for tomorrow, we could easily see a run back to the highs around April 5th. And from the sloppy head and shoulders, you see the breakdown zone hits the second target, and then the final target is right near a harmonic cluster. So we definitely have things to watch for. I actually have to update that. That was the incorrect harmonic cluster. Sorry about that. I forgot to update that from the other day with this push lower. So we have 4,600 as the major target for the head and shoulders. Again, what would invalidate that? We start breaking down below 44.46. We start breaking down below 44.46. We have some minor support right around here. 40, that's 44.48. We break down below that. The next minor support below that, below 44.46, is about 44.31. And then I'd just be focusing on the 200 simple coming in about 43.91 to 4400. Again, let me put the harmonics from this down move, since we have this area. By the way, this is just two bottoms based off of this. That could actually be, let me take a look. Hold on one second. I just want to see where that, yeah. 43.90 to 43.98 is major support on any breakdown. Let's just see. That makes it a little odd. Let's take a look at that on a 1 hour. I'm just going to keep it with the head and shoulders patterns for the upside. So we're going to have to see if this flag pattern resolves. Again, I'm still in a short-term, very short-term bullish mode, and then we'll shift again to a longer-term bearish mode on the next rally once we get these cycles moving up and rolling over again. Hey, Dan Jet, welcome, welcome, welcome. Just take a look at the shorter-term charts. There's nothing else. Those are all the levels I'm watching on the S&P. NASDAQ. Again, we had the double top. First, second targets hit. NASDAQ has been the weakest. See, down 144 basis points. Dow was actually up 36 basis points. The S&P just down 28 basis points. If we do push lower overnight, my next major support level is 14,187, and this goes through tomorrow morning. Cycles also at the bottom, and RSI approaching oversold. There is an aggressive buy pattern tomorrow if we do get a daily close above Friday's high, coming in at 14,642.25. Shorter term to that, key area I'm watching for a break above is about 14,582. We start getting above there. I shift to short-term bullish mode in the NASDAQ with 14,765, the next target up here. And then above that, I will have to do some harmonic projections, and we will take a look at those tomorrow. This looks like it could be a very sloppy double right here. So to the upside, if that were to trigger, we have 14,805, 14,886, and 14,967. So I will keep an eye on that also. So if we start getting about 14,582, going to watch for that to trigger. And we do have an almost advanced clear path up here with the one major stopping area being 14,766. Again, to the downside, even if we sell off tonight, if we do sell off and come back down to this final target with the 200 on the 4 hour, that would invalidate the double. So those targets would come off. The Dow is pretty much in no man's land. If we start breaking below about 34,250 with momentum, I'm watching for a return to about 33,935 area, and that's pretty critical because that's also right around this prior resistance area. We have a pretty substantial resistance shelf becoming support in this area. So don't really want to see a move much below that. By the way, I have to update this to the reverse harmonics box. So short term again, 34,250 is my breakdown zone. We break down below that, we can do a little harmonic projection to the downside. And again, that's 33,945 right here. and then about 33,796 will be minor levels. To the upside, I'm really just watching this trend line coming in right about 34,825 area. Above there, then I will just use my harmonics going up. And in the Dow, I do figure I am watching again for a bounce in the Dow this week. 34,911 and 35,002. So 35,000 right at this trend line defining point. If you don't know what the defining point of a trend line is, we have a series of 3 videos up on YouTube. Please search for that under trend lines on the channel. Russell, as I said, once we broke down below 2017, we didn't quite get to 1973. That's the level. I'm just going to bump this up again. Now we have a little more significance in here with that low about 1979. We break below that, then I am coming to about 1941. Now on a rally, we are just in a huge consolidation pattern. So first area of resistance is 2021, and then I'm going back to 2050. There's not any great setups for me right now in the Russell. DAX, I'm still keeping an eye on this little potential double bottom to trigger, still completely valid, and it's actually confirmed but not triggered yet. About 14,336, 14,483, and then major level 14,559, because that's the target in front of the candle bodies. Crude broke down from that triangle pattern, and this is why I don't like triangles, and you caught yourself on the bottom here. So that's really, it's just in consolidation. I don't have any great setups right now in crude. There's just an aggressive buy still on a close above Thursday's high, but that's just in a little consolidation trade. So nothing we're really going to talk about right there because it's consolidation. The only thing that's not consolidation, if you break down below about 93.50, then I'll watch for a return to 88.91, and that would be a short little downside play. Gold still caught in consolidation. I am only interested if we break out above 1967 or on a pullback back to about 1904, then 1877. Those are key areas I look for core positions on, and the breakout above 1967 is then a run back up into the area of about 1987, then 2010. Silver in consolidation. Major support is about this 24.29. If we break below that, the area I'd really love a pullback to is 23.79. Don't know if we'll get it, and not interested in doing anything really besides raising stops on the core position once it breaks above 25.95. Other than that, there's no other plays. Notes, I said last week, I'm starting to watch for a major bottoming pattern. We are very oversold. There could be a slight still push lower, but we're getting very oversold. So that's what I'm watching for. Right now, we do have a little potential double on a trade above 121.07. We target 121.24 and 121.30, and then 122.06. And that would be a short-term reversal pattern, but that could be anchoring a much longer-term reversal pattern. We're getting to some major reversal signals in notes and in bonds also. Dollar index coming up, spiking off the harmonics. I'm now watching for a potential pullback to about 99.30 with the rising rotation zone. Next levels up we are watching for now comes up to 150, then 182. VIX, still not a lot of fear. We got a little bounce, and now the pullback. No close below 62.5. So that's where I'll be watching. If we start breaking below 2081 tomorrow, I'm watching for a return to the 18 levels. What would change that? My first warning sign would be above about 2280. And then I will watch for a return to about 24. But I don't start getting into really bearish mode, though, until we get above 25 again. So still, even with this bounce, has not put me in anything majorly bearish. Let's just take a look at the yield curve. 2s, 10s, again, it generally rallies into a recession. So we dip below zero, and then we had a pretty substantial rally, up 20 basis points in virtually 5 days. So even on a pullback now, I will watch for another rotation back up. And you see here, it's still not even back to the weekly rotation zone, and we have a bullish engulfing bar. So I'm longer term watching for the yield curve to continue to steepen on the 210s. What else? Ratios. Let's take a look. Value and growth. Value and growth shifting back to some value areas. What would only make me focus on growth again is if we get above about 1.92. That would be this area. Until then, we're closed right at the 62.5. So we don't have the probabilities yet for a retest of the lows, but if we start closing below about 186, then I will watch for a retest of the lows, which means continue to favor growth. Value over growth. The only way I shift back to growth mode is above 192. Mega caps, again, really strong pullback in the mega caps with no close above the 62 and below the 62.5 yet. If we do close below there, then I'm watching for a retest of the lows. What would make me bullish on mega caps again? We'd have to get above this 0.52 area, right around in here. Let's see. I think that is about it. Let's take a look. Tesla, for all those people who do follow and trade Tesla. This is still the stuff from Friday. There's just some scalpy trades in there. By the way, the double is no longer in play. So we have to update the harmonics for the next push lower. If Tesla moves lower, my next major support is about 104 to 107. That's the key area, especially this 1007, not 107. That's where the next major support is. If it starts breaking below there, we also then would have filled the gap, and then we've also broken below the daily rotation zone. And then I start focusing back to this 50% level and the rising 50 EMA. What would cause something bullish? Let's see if we have a bigger pattern here. This can actually still be traded as a double. But I am just going to watch for a break. My key area is right here, though. I start getting in bullish mode above 1077 because then we have a gap fill play. For the gap fill play also, the first warning sign is you get a close at least on a 15-minute basis above 1065, preferably on an hour basis. Then that will be a front run gap fill play to then target 1076 and then the gap fill. Hi, William. How are you today? Can we look at CF? CF, nothing much has changed. Again, agriculture, or this is chemicals for agriculture. It is possibly setting up for a little divergence. This cycle's getting near the top, but this could easily still push higher to the 1240, then 115, but I would start watching for at least a short-term top to kick in. All right, so that's something to keep in mind. We'll be watching for a short-term top. Longer term, again, you do have a potential double, but it's a long way off from triggering with that. So really on a key support level, key support would be back. Your major support would be 99.74 to 100. You don't really want it dropping below that because then I'd watch for a retest of this lower range. But right now, just keep an eye. The cycles have not rolled over yet, and you do have a potential divergence, but that has not triggered yet. So it would just keep moving up stops with a continued rally. Let's see if there's anything else. Apple, again, triggered that double. I'm really focused on about 168.49 to 168.06. If we do push lower tomorrow, that's also where there's a very key support in here. There's no great bottoming pattern. The only way I could get short-term bullish on Apple is above about 173.50. And then we have a gap left behind. So then it will turn into a gap play. Microsoft, going to keep an eye on this one. This one could be a very strong play this week. We had the double top. We've come down virtually to all It could eke out a slight lower low tomorrow, but we have a still double bottom in play above 303.63. Then it's 307.27, raising stop 309.08 and 310.90 are the plays, and that would be on a full gap play too. So that's one I'm really focused on. William, short term, I'm looking for some bullish reversals in the short term, and then a longer term, I'm still bearish. But this week, I'm looking for some bullish price action. That's the major stuff. Things I'm like Nvidia, you still might get a bounce in this. There is an aggressive buy on a close above Friday's high, but that would just be a short-term little bounce play, and that's not my favorite one because you have the 200 overhead again. You have a significant area of about 243.25, and then it's running into the rotation zone. So there could be a quick little bounce play in there, but nothing long-term. Amazon, again, you still have the longer term double in play after the short term pullback, but Amazon really needs to get above. There's a little aggressive buy above Friday's high also, and that would just be for a bounce play and possibly for the gap fill. See, these mega caps are ugly again. Google double top, virtually down to all three targets hit. And again, there's also an aggressive buy on above Friday's high on that, but that would just be a short-term bounce play. Good morning, George. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. Again, these mega caps are ugly, but there could be a still some bounce plays in them this week, but those would only be for short-term bounces. That's pretty much where we stand. Also, like Google cycles at the bottom, RSI getting oversold, and that would be the buy I listed out was a %B buy trigger there. I don't think there's anything else I have to cover. By the way, if you did join in later, please go back and watch the beginning of the live stream. I understand on Sunday afternoon, not everyone can make it, especially with weather turning nicer and more outdoor activities. So I get this done in the afternoon so then people can still watch it again this evening. I will be doing all this week a market open segment at 8 Central because there's a lot going on this week. And remember, earnings really start kicking off Wednesday and Thursday with the banks. So do not ignore that, and also do not ignore all the Fed speakers. They're really in hawkish mode. I don't know what else they could really say that could surprise the markets, but we shall see. So just be aware that there can be volatility when they're speaking. I'm going to wrap it up for now. I got a number of things to still do on my Sunday afternoon. So thank you for joining me, and I will see everyone tomorrow morning. By the way, again, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting that like button. Longer-term viewers and subscribers, please like the videos and leave some comments. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday afternoon. Bye.